Okay, welcome to the Berea Planning Commission business session. This is our Tuesday, May 27th meeting. And calling to order, recognize any visitors that aren't on the agenda. Is everybody on the agenda? Okay. Perfect. All right, commissioners, we have the minutes for the March 25th, 2025 meeting.
Mr. Chair, I say we approve the minutes as presented, please, for the,
We have a motion to approve the minutes as submitted. Second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Johnson, thank you. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries, minutes are approved. Okay. So no old business, we're gonna jump right into the new business. 465 Possum Kingdom Road, TMR Ventures LLC. This is a minor plat waiver request for minimum lot size requirement.
Engineering, representing TMR Ventures LLC. Ms. Ballinger, she's a member of that, and she's here tonight too if you have any questions for her. But they currently reside there at 477 Possum Kingdom. It's right across from Tremont subdivision, and they own a little over 20 acres there. And they're wishing to cut out a 2.3 acre tract to build them a new home on, hopefully, and kind of downsize a little bit. And the requirement is for 5 acres where it's zoned agriculture. So we're asking for a waiver request on the lot size.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners, any questions, discussions?
So I understand, the rationale behind it. Was there ever any consideration about maybe, doing a zone change for that particular parcel?
Well, we sent in an overlay of kind of what their whole grand plan is. And maybe later on they might do a zone change, but they wouldn't really want to for this particular tract at this time. What you can see their house and their driveway on the screen there. Mm-hmm. And what they're wanting to do is and it gets a little weird because some of this land's in the county and some of it's in the city of Berea. So they're wanting to add on to that lot, square it off and make it over 5 acre tract to sell that particular lot. Keep the 2.3 acre lot to build a house on and sell the remaining approximately 16 acres.
Okay.
That's kind of the long-term goal, if I'm correct.
Somebody can buy it all if they want it all. Leave it at
Right.
But if they want it all, they can certainly have it all. So we hate to take our little 2 acre tract and turn it residential. If somebody wanted it, they'd be willing to sell it and they could leave it agricultural if they wanted to. But again, we know what it's worth, so we
Yeah.
can sure sell it for that.
Okay. Just a question.
I was going to ask why, but I think from looking at the site there, it's because of the existing house and wanting to take that little corner and separate it, right?
Yeah.
Why you're not doing full 5 acres.
Right.
Okay.
Kind of like me, kind of downsize on this mowing.
Appreciate that.
And it's kind of, it wouldn't have a detrimental effect on the area because, right across the street is a 1 acre lot subdivision in Tremont.
Is there city water, city sewer? What are the utility situation on the site?
It's on septic.
It's on septic.
Yes.
Amanda, any staff input on this?
This
because this lot is a little bit tricky because again, it does adjoin Madison County. And if it were just to the north a little bit, they could do a 2.5 acre tract. So, from a staff perspective, again, I understand that there's a reason to preserve those larger 5 acre tracts. Could be done as a zone change, but again, in my opinion, density not affected really. We're not creating, larger or more dense areas than we would normally allow given their entire acreage there. So we didn't really see any issue with it.
Other commissioners, questions, concerns? Chair will entertain a motion if there is one.
I make a motion approving the minor plat of 465 Opossum Kingdom Road with a waiver request for the minimum lot size requirement.
A second.
Motion to approve and a second. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, the next order is 363 Baldwin Street, Small Town Grove LLC. Minor plat request, approval, land subdivision, single lot without 50 feet of road frontage, as described in the land management ordinance. This is with a waiver request for title transfer occurring within the last 5 years.
I'm going to explain that a little more before Dwayne goes, if that's okay. So this
Please.
one's a little more complicated just in the terminology. I will first tell you that this map is very misleading. It shows a cul-de-sac here that is actually not there. It doesn't exist. The right-of-way does not exist. So what actually happens, and these are just estimated property lines that we use in our mapping. So occasionally we run into this, but in this particular case, the right-of-way for Baldwin Street ends about right here. And so this cul-de-sac is not city right-of-way. Our regulations say that every lot must front on a public way for a minimum of 50 feet. So if we cut a lot off right here, which is what they're proposing to do, somewhere along here, it does not have public road frontage. Now, there's a little bit of a drop. The asphalt extends out there, but that's on private property, on their private property. It is not part of the right-of-way. So if you look at the plat, you see where the right-of-way ends and that they would be providing an access easement basically where this road is now, in this little section here. And I don't know that you're seeing my mouse. But basically where that cul-de-sac is shown in red is on private property, and that will become an access easement according to the plat. So what our regulations say is all, I'm going to start right here, all lot line, in 508.5.1, all lots shall front on a public street for a minimum distance of 50 feet. Well, we know we don't have that. Provided, however, that this provision shall not apply to the subdivision of a single lot, i.e. one additional lot, so that's what we're trying to accomplish with this plat, is getting one lot, provided that the lot shall have a legally enforceable and adequate ingress and egress, and further provided that the original parcel from which the subdivision is made shall not have been subdivided nor the title transferred within the previous 5 years. That's the part of it that would need the waiver. Our regulations go on to say, an applicant desiring to invoke this provision shall appear before the planning commission and establish the above facts to the commission's satisfaction. We know we are not meeting both of those requirements. The title has transferred within the last 5 years, and the current property owner has owned it for about 3 years. So they are seeking to ask for approval of this one lot. We are establishing adequate ingress and egress through an access easement, and they are asking for a waiver on the 5-year requirement that the title is not transferred. We have done this in the past, and I've talked to our city attorney today about this, in terms of what is the reason why our regulations specifically call out 5 years. I think the intent is probably to keep people from continuing to subdivide, sell, subdivide, sell, subdivide. In this particular case, there's a lot of, there is floodplain in this area, and the land is not going to be very conducive for continuing to subdivide. Again, we don't have road frontage. There's a lot of hurdles that you just wouldn't be able to continue to subdivide this land.
You're talking about what's shown as remainder.
Remainder, yes.
So, but the owner understands that, and that's not their intention, it's just to build the one house.
I don't want to speak for them. Again, the plat before us is to get one lot.
Okay.
I do not know the intention of what they intend to do overall.
So Amanda, can you put that map back up, please? So, just so I understand this, we don't have 50 feet because the road ends at the yellow line, correct?
Yeah, the road ends, let me change. So the road ends right where this parcel would start.
So it wouldn't have 50 feet anyway,
Correct,
regardless of what our reg says, right?
correct. Correct.
Is there, I know that we have ingress and egress, but is there also the opportunity for the city to take in that remaining portion of the street and to where, yes, that requirement would be met, they would have the 50 feet, and would we necessarily have to, go through all of this?
So the other option, the only other
Which I'm not
option-
opposed to, I'm just playing the devil's advocate.
Yeah, no, we've talked through all these options. So the other option would be to do a full set of preliminary plat, construction plans, build a right-of-way or a cul-de-sac here. But because of the constraints for this land, I think they just weren't going to get that many lots.
Man, what if we built that street on down to the end of those 2 lots? You probably have the city specifications, just be another 100 foot. So the city takes care of that street down to that blacktop. I know if we did that, probably the easement back up this way. What if we built that street on down to the end of those 2 lots on the right of it?
It is certainly a possibility, but but that process looks a lot different, in terms of,
Leave that over to the city, the rest of that road.
you absolutely can establish new right-of-way, and you could build that road out. I'm gonna say we would probably want a cul-de-sac there.
Well, there ain't one there now.
Right, but, I mean,
You only get 2 on lot, but all we're trying to do is keep the city from writing this citation for the homeless.
so to establish right-of-way, we have to do a full set of civil plans. So you're talking about a big expense, or a bigger expense than what this is to get one lot. But it certainly can be done.
Yeah, plus it'd have to be built to city specs with curbs and gutters and sidewalks and all that, so.
And I drove over there today, and really, I mean, you can't even tell that it's not, it looks like the street does extend that far. I mean, there's still, you could tell where the road, you know, there's not any space there between where the road stops and where this plot is. Really, it's just right there.
And I agree with Stephanie. I drove by before the meeting, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any way of knowing it wasn't city road.
It looks just like a city road. I mean, it's still got the asphalt that extends out through there and everything, so, you know.
And I can't see why you couldn't build on it and just have the driveway on the right-hand side, close to the lot. I mean, and then the lot across from that, that's high ground, so that's not floodplain. Everything on the left is not floodplain. The only thing that's floodplain is that one, and therefore, yeah.
There's a
see.
floodplain.
So there's, what, 2 more lots, and then, well, 3 lots, 1, 2, 3. Or 2, and
And given that we're in a housing crisis, you
I
know, we
can't, yeah.
we need to let.
It'd be affordable home.
wants to build, you know.
Yeah. I don't want to hold anybody back from not building because of a couple little things.
Right. Or just have a dead lot that you've bought that you can't do anything with.
And,
It's really bad.
and that lot's been there since I was in high school. That's, what, 78, 80 or something like that? And that's,
Now, I would give you another option in terms of if, as the owner, you guys wanted, and we've talked through this, if you guys wanted multiple lots down there, you know, this approval of this particular plat would allow them to start construction of one home, and then they certainly could come in here and build, extend the right-of-way of Baldwin Street. And I don't know why you guys are not, oh, there's, it's real faint, but, so extend the right-of-way and create more lots on that right side. But that process would be a preliminary plat, construction plans, final plat, building that road out. Well, again, whatever is the planning commission would be agreeable to, but, you know, the safest way would be a cul-de-sac. Certainly the safest thing.
Somebody's got it gravel, now I guess the city gravel that, though, I don't know. Pretty sure it would take that, actually, somebody uses the dump.
it's a camping area too, and
Yes, and
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
The neighbors at first been getting the license number and unfortunately, I don't know if they do something.
Yeah.
I can tell you as a citizen that lives in that neighborhood that we would love to see development come in there because as it sits right now, it's an attraction for people to come and camp. And so if they got some building going on, it would detour that. And we could also use newer homes in that neighborhood because it would bring everybody's value up and
It sure would.
there's not been any
Yeah.
new homes built there in a while. So, I mean, I think it's a win-win.
Yeah. Well, you can get, what, 3 or 4 lots out there easily, couldn't you?
Maybe we just do this and then like it worked on if we extended that blacktop and curb and gutter on down to the end of those 2 lots. We put sidewalks in where we build. We don't require, they know, we put sidewalks where we build. If it's 50 foot, up to 1,000, we put sidewalks.
Yeah.
You get that on Water Street.
Yeah, no doubt he'll make it look nice.
Water Street looks, it's amazing how much difference it is now
Yeah.
from what it would be.
Yeah, we could use that in our neighborhood.
So anyway, if we get that approved, then Dwayne might work with you on it. We might be able to extend that curb and gutter from blacktop on down to the end of it, get another lot. Don't make this that.
Yeah, Amanda, correct me if I'm wrong, if we approve the waiver as presented tonight, that additional 8 acres would be stranded, wouldn't it?
no, it actually has, so remember, we're just giving an access easement here.
Right.
So it still has its frontage along Baldwin Street, which is probably only 40 feet. You know, now we would require 50, but that would be so they would have 40 feet of frontage here, and this lot also has frontage on now it's not improved, but it is, on a public way. There is a right-of-way here where K Street could connect to Cortland Avenue. And, this lot actually comes way up here to K Street.
Shirley Street, you want Shirley Street,
Yeah.
Oh, it joins Shirley?
Yeah, I think, some of the times we may not answer things now the way we would have 2 years ago, but since the housing shortage and we're trying to work with that, it requires us sometimes to make a few exceptions and, because we're gonna have to work through this situation, for the best of everybody's benefit, so.
Shirley Street. There's quite a few acres. I never really looked at the map on it before I looked at my phones. There's quite a few acres in there. Well, how you word it, Greg, or Mr. Chairman?
So I think, yeah, that's where I thought y'all would probably
We say what we
need
say.
need some attention. I think it is a approval of a minor plat for the subdivision of land, really kind of like the agenda is. So, so approval of a minor plat of a single lot without 50-foot road frontage with a waiver for title transferring within the last 5 years. So if you look at your agenda, I think that's how the motion needs to be made.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion then that we approve the minor plat for a single lot without the 50 feet of road frontage and with the waiver.
Waiver request for title.
Yeah,
occurring
the
in
waiver
last 5
request
years.
for the title transfer occurring within the last 5 years.
I second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Before we vote, just double check with everybody. Anybody got any concerns or comments or anything? Hearing none, we will, all in favor of the motion, please.
I got a question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So by approving this, that's still, the other 8 acres still has the opportunity to be developed?
Correct. It
Okay.
has, now again, so what's problematic is that we don't have any improved right-of-way. So either way, I think we're getting road improvements, right? Whether that's on K Street or
Right.
whether that's on extending Baldwin. That's what I really struggled with on working with Roy and Dwayne on how to subdivide this land. It's really not an easy tract to subdivide
Yeah.
from that perspective. Just again, because we don't have that improved right-of-way anywhere.
That's Apple Grove Park, right? Yeah. Did they have it years ago when they developed it? Did they have it, anything developed out there or future? Probably
I think we probably planned on doing it.
just lost in time and they got it. Okay, all right.
All right, we have a motion and a second for this, for the approval. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make one announcement before we adjourn, please.
Please do.
Our comprehensive plan consultants are scheduled to be here this Thursday evening for a public event, and that is at the Berea Event Center, Berea Gallery and Event Center, located right next door to the pavilion on Chestnut Street. So I would certainly ask that anybody who is available, please help us spread the word. It is from 5:30 until 7. And in this meeting, we are looking to just get general public input, citizen input for the next 10 to 20 years of development in Berea. So we would love for as many people to come out. We'd love to hear your comments and thoughts. There will be stations set up where we're asking certain questions, or our consultants are asking certain questions. So please come out if you can.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Hopefully see everybody there and see some good citizen input and thoughts there. So that'd be great. All right. Any commissioners have anything else? Anything you want to talk about?
Make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion.
Second.
Second. All approve of the motion? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you all.